This is the College Football Connection Podcast with Alvin Reed, Bradford Bruns, and Marty Jenkins on 101 ESPN.
Definitely wading closer to the waters of March Madness, but do not forget there is a ton of college pigskin action transpiring as well, as per usual, I guess you could say. Bradford Bruns, greetings everybody, and welcome back into your latest installment of the College Football Connection, only on the 101 ESPN YouTube channel, plus 101ESPN.com. As always, we thank you very much for tuning in as we come to you live once again from our studio in Creve Coeur. Just a little while ago, we were on the road in Indianapolis, and last week, even though we didn't get the opportunity to reconvene on the heels of the NFL Scouting Combine, really hope you had an opportunity to either tune into the live reports we had from Lucas Oil Stadium, or even after the fact, the exchanges we were able to conduct with Theo Weiss Jr., Brady Cook, and Luther Burden III, among others. All you have to do, in case you missed any of that content, is check out the homepage, 101ESPN.com. We talked about the March Madness. Of course, it is going to be really putting a stranglehold on the nation at large over the course of the next 3+ weeks. But don't forget about the glut of pro days happening around the nation. That's right. If you were a Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders, looking at you guys, even Ashton Jeanty in Indianapolis, and you opted out of working out there, if you didn't partake in the 40-yard dash, if you didn't engage in those bench press reps, odds are you are doing so over the course of the next week plus at assorted campuses everywhere. This is really becoming the MO for so many of the top picks, right, coming up for this April's installment of the NFL Draft. It's more of that era of specialization, and you want to feel comfortable in your own surroundings. To wit, Missouri is going to be hosting its own pro day next Friday, March the 21st in Columbia. And in addition to Cook, to Theo Weiss Jr., to Burden III, and of course Armand Mimbu. Quick side note here, did anyone have a more impressive display at Lucas Oil Stadium? I'm talking about regardless of position group than the right tackle to come in the pros. We digress just a little bit, but at the same time, those guys, in addition to some other esteemed likes, talking about Johnny Walker Jr., maybe Christian Williams, guys who were not among the 329 to get those prestigious invites to the Combine in Indy. They are going to have their own showcases in Como in a matter of days. And it's not just relegated to MU on the SEC side of things next week either. Oh no, on the 19th, earlier in the week, in fact, Alabama is holding its pro day in Tuscaloosa, another showcase there for Jalen Milroe, among others. And how about earlier this week, as a matter of fact, you had Tennessee, Oklahoma getting underway on Monday. Today, we'll give that shout out to the University of Illinois, as well as Brett Bielema's squad having a pro day, looking to really set that foundation in the spring camp sessions to come to try to replicate the great success from 2024. So next week, we're going to take more of a deep dive into what transpires at the respective pro days, but also today in this version of the CFC, we want to definitely touch upon, yes, those spring camps, because before you know it, they're going to be over. You're going to have the transfer portal, another one opening anew. But let's focus on mid-Missouri here for just a moment or so, because already the Tigers have 7 to 8 practices in the books, and it's not as if we are able to truly scrutinize and monitor a lot of the storylines, right, taking place on the backfields during the practice sessions. No, you get to actually view 5 individual periods, and then you're ushered off if you're a media member for a span of about an hour and a half. You're brought back. Maybe you get to hear from Coach Drinkwitz thereafter, maybe an offensive coordinator, a defensive coordinator. Heck, Coach Link of the special teams unit, that maestro, he was available a couple of days ago. Some student athletes, yes, but you're not heavily observing. You don't really feel as if you're tied in with what is transpiring on the field. Although there are some interesting things to note, some different speculation and conjecture coming out of Missouri thus far. Here's what we do know. The man who would be king, everybody is thinking, right, at the quarterback position for MU in 2025. The baton being passed from Brady Cook, or so we suspect, to Bo Pribula, right? Coming over from Penn State, prized portal edition. Actually, as a matter of fact, before we dive even more deeply into what we have to say on that particular front, let's actually hear from number 12, Brady Cook. He was asked at the Combine from a host of reporters there what he is feeling, what he has heard so far about the multifaceted threat that is Bo Pribula. We want to get to that before we move forward here.
I think it's huge. That's what Kirby does a great job of is getting the quarterback run game involved. And it's going to be big, especially in the SEC. I think the more you can extend plays, find ways to use your legs in big situations, find ways to use your legs to win games, it's huge. It's huge. It takes pressure off everyone else. And I know Bo is a great athlete.
So, yeah, the risk of coming across as a little too jarring there. Thought it was imperative to hear from Brady Cook. Had such a storied career arc in Columbia. We talked about it so often during our College Football Connection overtime presentations after Tigers games last season. Bo Pribula now comes on board, and you don't know the extent to which he is going to be a prolific passer, right? A thrower with prowess. Cook, for all of his faults in 2024, when the moments were brightest, when the lights were brightest, he found a way, yes, in that bowl game as well, in the Auburn storied contest there, to make the requisite throws and the most critical throws. The question we have here with Bo Pribula is not about the athleticism whatsoever, but the manner in which he is going to adjust to what the OC Kirby Moore wants him to do down the field. So not only do you have Pribula in camp, and perhaps he will wind up as the number one starter after all when you have Central Arkansas coming into your lair in late August. But don't forget about Sam Horn. He has been photographed out there. The video footage is there if you're digging for it as well from our friends in Columbia. He is coming off of the Tommy John procedure, now more than 12 months removed from as much. And this is somebody who just a couple of short seasons ago, whether you really put a lot of validity into that argument that there was a true tangible quarterback conversation, a competition between Cook and Horn, the one thing that we didn't have any qualms about whatsoever with respect to Sam Horn, the arm action, right? The ability to sling that ball down the field. Now, I'm not here to say that there's going to be some sort of a dual system here, that you're going to see significant reps from both of these student athletes. But it wouldn't surprise me whatsoever if we had a bit of a murky message coming out from Coach Drinkwitz as we edge closer to the fall camp. Also, some initial reports heralding the presence, the arrival, and the work so far of Ahmad Hardy. Keep in mind, this is a ULM transfer at the running back position. Group of 5 action last season, yes, as a freshman. But when you run for over 1,300 yards, when you rush for more than 10 touchdowns, double-digit variety, and you are doing so with such a ferocious style for a MU room that is looking to make up for the likes of the departed Marcus Carroll, Nate Noel, who have been so productive, especially when you are more green going in at the quarterback position. It is going to be fun to watch him when we can actually do as much in the months to come. Don't forget about Coleman in the slot position as well, and a defense right now that is going to have to make up for, compensate for a lot of losses going to the professional level or individuals who have graduated. By the same token, though, this is a group really with a lot of buzz as far as maybe with the potential, the upside of being a top 10 unit in the entire nation. And I don't think that is really a far-fetched premise whatsoever. Not when you have a Tristan Newsome coming back at the linebacking level for another year of eligibility, transfer additions galore. And don't forget about Darius Smith, right? Last season from Georgia. This is somebody who was supposed to compete with Johnny Walker Jr. on the defensive line and give you tons of reps, and yet sustained the season-ending injury before the campaign even began. You think that you have solidified matters in the secondary too. There's more experience this season as well. If Toriano Pride Jr. comes back in even a stronger fashion, really the sky is the limit per se when it comes to that position group for Corey Batoon and company. But wanted to check in with you today for just a little while on the 101 ESPN YouTube channel and 101ESPN.com. Come back next week because certainly we will be recapping the MU Pro Day. Hope to have some live coverage there from Faurot Field and the facilities in Columbia, and so much to recap across the country. And maybe we'll even mix in a little bit of the audio you didn't get to hear from our live reports in Indianapolis, as the college football season, it never truly comes to an end in the year 2025, does it not? Bradford Bruns signing off for now. Have a great remainder of your day, St. Louis. And until next time, we'll catch you later.
Thanks for listening to the College Football Connection podcast on 101 ESPN.